Good day to all. This is Professor Pedro F. Pelet. I am a professor of economics and statistics, and I normally conduct a course entitled Business Economic Concepts. It's II-986. And this class is organized in such a way that there are two components. One is microeconomics, in other words, the study of units, and the other one is macroeconomics, the study of aggregates. Normally, we cover micro first, going back to the evolution of modern economics, maybe from times of the 18th century with Dr. Francois Quesnay, and one of the members of the Physiocratic School, and Professor Turgot. And then we go into the classical school of economics with Adam Smith, who is considered the founding father of modern economics. The beginning of this period is normally considered 1776. That was the year of the publication of the Wealth of Nations. And with that, we begin the classical school of economics. Then after that, I continue all the way to the transition from classical economics to neoclassical economics. That essentially happens during the middle of the 19th century. And with that, then we go all the way into the 20th century, and probably the most important economic phenomenon of the 20th century, that was the Great Depression of the 1930s, that began essentially on October 24, 1929. Then, as a result of that event, probably the most important economists of the 20th century, John Maynard Keynes, published a seminal book called The General Theory, and with that we conventionally believe that we begin the period of macroeconomics, in other words, the study of aggregates. The microeconomic part is already covered. I covered that in class, but this macroeconomics element or macroeconomic part of II-986, Business Economic Concepts, is essentially presented in a series of videos that intend to cover the chapters of the book by Professors McConnell, Lin, and Flynn, Brew and Flynn, the 19th edition, published by McGraw-Hill, and the first chapters of that book, that is entitled Macroeconomics, is essentially dealing with the fundamental elements of both micro and macro. So we are not going to talk about those chapters here. So we are beginning with chapter 5 of that book that covers the so-called market failures. Is the introduction to the need for analyzing the transition from microeconomics to macroeconomics, and the title of the chapter is Market Failures, Public Goods and Externalities. Then after that we go to chapter 6, that is an introduction to macroeconomics. Chapter 7 is measuring domestic output and national income. Chapter 8 is economic growth. Chapter 9, business cycles, unemployment and inflation. Chapter 10 is basic macroeconomic relationships. Chapter 11 is the aggregate expenditures model. Chapter 12 is aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Chapter 13 is fiscal policy, deficits and debt. Chapter 14 is money, banking, and financial institutions. And by the way, today we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the inception of the Federal Reserve System in the U.S., that is the central bank of the United States of America. It was founded on December 24, 1913, exactly 100 years ago. Then the next one is the chapter related to money creation. It's entitled Money Creation, chapter 15. Chapter 16 is interest rates and monetary policy. Chapter 17 is financial economics. Chapter 18 is extending the analysis of aggregate supply. And chapter 19, current issues in macroeconomic theory. And then after that, we go to chapter 20, international trade. Chapter 21, the balance of payments, exchange rates, and trade deficit. And with that, we hope that the student will have the opportunity to review and I hope to learn something relevant in the area of macroeconomics. That essentially, as I say before, is the study of the aggregates. So with this, I suppose they are going to be able to have a general idea of what is the scope of macroeconomics. In other words, the study of aggregates. So I wish all of you a very nice day, and I hope you'll enjoy these videos.